The President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Professor George Obiozor, says that the President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Imo State is a new dawn and that it will form a new foundation and platform for meaningful dialogue. Professor Obiozor pledged the continued unity of Nigeria while saying that the most compelling need of Ndigbo today is security. The Ohanaeze Ndigbo president is calling for the establishment of a zonal and state police apparatus to support the existing federal security infrastructure. He's calling on the president to release Igbo youths detained by various security agencies across the country.
Well, Professor Obiozor also extolled President Buhari for the laudable infrastructure projects like the Second Niger Bridge and others in the Southeast region. The Apex Igbo socio-cultural group enjoined President Buhari to invest in railways, roads and ports to drive socio-economic growth in the region to douse youth restiveness. Ohanaeze is also canvassing the devolution of power to ensure a sense of balance in Nigeria's political system. Well, for more on this, let's bring in Professor from Owerri, Professor George Obiozor, President General Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide. Professor George Obiozor, glad to have you join us, Prof. Let's start it this way. When you say the President's visit is a new dawn and it'll be a pedestal for meaningful dialogues, tell us in clear terms what you are alluding to.
Visit has symbolic and substantive values. To speak with about the visit, to begin with, you have to think of Owerri, Imo State. This is the first time a president has been attracted to Imo State since 2009. For that, we are grateful to the governor of Imo State who was able to attract Mr. President. It's not easy to have a presidential visit to a state. On the other hand, we are grateful to the president for according Imo State that opportunity, as well as to find out really what is happening in Imo State, especially the most recent issues of security. I'll call it security crisis. I feel strongly that it gave us opportunity in Imo State and Southeast in general to tell the president what our problems are. But these problems and issues raised, particularly in my speech, and also that of the governor of Imo State, are universal issues that touch on equity, sense of justice, balance, and fairness. Those inevitable qualities without which peace is impossible. I keep saying that indeed those denied justice throughout history have had no interest in peace. And this is historically true. So when we talk about the president's visit or analyze it, the basic achievement of that visit is that it has given room to concentrate on reasons for optimism for Nigeria and the Igbo as citizens. I feel
now
that the
like
president
to
got our
see
message.
as a demonstration. Sorry, Prof, I need to ask this question very quickly. What would you like to see as a demonstration of the president's commitment to the cause of Ndigbo. You did mention in your speech, let me quote you as quickly as I can, the perception that the Igbos are separatists and secessionist agitators is a historical fallacy. How do you even, plan to change that particular perception? And are you satisfied with the commitments of Mr. President to some of your demands?
I think if you watch the president today, something that many Nigerians have been discussing quietly about president, his body language. Today's body language in Igbo land, in Igbo, showed that he's a man who is actually prepared and able to sustain a new dawn in Nigeria and in Igbo land in particular. Remember, we didn't mince words when I said giving Igbos a sense of belonging. That is important. And you can see throughout the speech of the president today, a promise that is likely to be promised that will be kept about this sense of belonging. We're waiting for action. As you also saw in my speech, I told the Mr. President we are expecting to hear from him when he gets Abuja. But meanwhile, as I said also, we have reason for optimism. This visit is fundamentally important given the past experience or perception of Igbos about the Buhari administration. We now have seen him. He has looked at our eyes, and we have looked at his eyes. I can inform you that a galaxy of Igbo leaders from all walks of life that came to receive him in Imo, in Owerri today, will, no matter whatever happened in the past, persuade the president to look positively at relations between his administration and the southeast region of Nigeria. I believe that.
Put you on hold. Thank you so much. We'll return with this conversation when Newsnight returns. Do stay with us. Glad to have you back. Professor George Obiozor, the President General of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, is still very much with us. But before we speak with him, let's listen to what Governor Hope Uzodimma had to say during President Buhari's visit to Imo State.
As you are aware, over the years, the road leading to the two federal institutions in Imo State, Federal University of Technology and the Federal Polytechnic Nekede, has not been accessible. During this period, we've been able to construct that road, dualize the road, and with solar street lights, starting from Naza Junction to the Polytechnic. You are aware that Owerri was taken over by floods. Residents of Chukwumawoha, the Tiger Relief Market, abandoned their homes and deserted the place. When we came, we did a comprehensive study on flood management, and we decided to deploy a balloon drainage technology and 2.48 kilometers underground with a depth of 11 meters, diameter of 9 meters, and today the project is completed.
All right, that was Imo State Governor there, Hope Uzodimma. We still have the Ohanaeze Ndigbo Director General, President General rather, Professor George Obiozor. He's still with us here. Prof, Let me follow up on the question my colleague asked about your statement. Let me quote it one more time. You said the consistent reception that Igbos are separatist and secessionist agitators is a historical fallacy. Don't you think that the proscribed IPOB and their military wing ECN lends credence to this particular ESN rather lends credence to this particular consistent notion?
As a matter of fact, that is also part of the fallacy. Throughout Nigeria today, the same demand, the same cause, which you see the IPOP and the other groups in the southeast making on the system, the Nigerian political system, is consistent with what others in the other zones have been making on the same system. One thing you don't have to miss in that my speech is that Nigeria is a nation of crisis and continuity. The difference is interpretation. The pervasive insecurity in Nigeria today cannot be located only in one region or one zone. You can give any name to any of these crises, but crisis is crisis. They have a basic definition. In terms of definition based on what you call intensity of involvement of youths or citizens of those sub-regions in Nigeria. Believe me, that tag is part of what competitors with Igbos, among other subnational groups in Nigeria's multinational society, are using to label us to their own advantage, while they are also committing, and their own people also committing, the same offense. When somebody speaks about separatism or secession in Nigeria, people of our age know that it has a history. That history did not begin with the IPOP. As a matter of fact, no section of Nigeria that is substantive in the Nigerian tripod of the Hausa Fulani, Yoruba, and the Igbo, East, West, and North, is free from this agitation for secession or separatism as a tactics to receive attention from the center or from the administration that is in charge of the country. So Nigerian federalism is full of this crisis and continuity, but it's also a lucky country. Lucky in the sense that the crisis Nigeria can survive and has survived would have killed any country that is not called Nigeria. For Nigeria, it is always getting close to the brink, getting close to the point of no return, and the divine intervention will bring us back together. To be candid with you, these too shall pass. As a matter of fact, both the youth's restiveness and the demands they are making demand the attention of the government for redressing injustice, for creating a system that enhances justice, equity, and balance. What is causing this problem is relative deprivation as seen and believed. Particularly now, it is really a crisis between the youth across the country and the political class. It needs proper attention and it must be addressed. To use it to deprive Igbos of their right and privilege and equal participation in Nigerian politics is what the opponents who are tagging Igbos as separatists want to use. The civil war has ended. It ended with a wonderful note.
Okay. All right, Prof, very quickly, still on this particular issue. Of course, you did give the president assurances of the commitment of Ndigbo to the unity of Nigeria. How do you hope to address the secessionist tendencies of proscribed groups like IPOB that we've been talking about? How do you plan to enforce or demonstrate this commitment? And I'd also like you to address your point that you made that Ojemba Enwe Hero, maybe you want to expatiate on that, and that, you know, provided there is good governance based on equity, justice, and fairness to all citizens, then secessionist elements cannot succeed. Help us understand your meaning.
Actually, when I say crisis and continuity, and how to resolve the issue discussed. Nigeria has been had this crisis in the past. But there is one quality Nigeria has developed throughout its history. And that is the quality of creative use of crisis. Creative use of crisis. That is Nigerian ingenuity. That's why I told you that the crisis that Nigeria survived has still kept its unity and kept the spirit of unity alive, would have destroyed any other country. Do you know that Nigeria is actually the only federation founded by colonialists that is surviving in Africa? So there must be a magic to Nigeria's destiny. So the idea of what you're asking me, ask how such crisis pertaining to IPOP was resolved in the South-South, being resolved in the North, being resolved in the Southwest. Don't forget.
Prof, let me just drop this question because of time. As far as you are concerned, this is from your speech again, the most important thing to the Igbos is the restoration of a serious sense of belonging. What is the fastest transport to getting to this destination in your own calculation?
In fact, politics is not mathematics. Therefore, it is not a science of exactitude. This thing has so many dimensions. It has substantive level and symbolic level. Mr. President had set up a wonderful first step by actually first visiting Igbo land and setting off reassurance of what I'm talking about, a sense of belonging, through his symbolic visit. There are other things to follow, which will be substantive ways of giving the Igbo sense of belonging.
Include the freeing of Ndigbo in prisons across the country, which is one of the things that you demanded. That seems like a blanket demand.
and many others. No, there's no blanket demand. The demand is focused on things that will reduce tension, not only in Igbo land, but tension in the rest of the country. You can see that has been a method. People shouldn't suffer from amnesia in the history of Nigeria. That is deliberate and selective forgetfulness. Yaradua, President Yaradua, resolved the Delta crisis. A serious effort is being made to resolve the Boko Haram crisis. A serious effort is being made to solve the crisis in the southwest. I want to see a serious effort made to solve the crisis in the southeast. That's what I mean in the statement, which is important. They say, treat everybody equal, and there will be peace. The greatest problem of any regime begins when citizens start to perceive selective treatment.
Prof, we will leave it there. Professor George Obiozor, President Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, thank you for being on Newsnight.